Guys, welcome back to the farm. Hey, windy, wet, major rain here in Michigan. This is Bell River. There's a bucket floating in there, and there's the bridge. Look at that current. You fall in there, buddy, you're done. These fences are up because we're on some muck fields. I think they grow lettuce and stuff down here. They use the fences to keep the deer out, but this looks like it's nice beach, lakefront property. That's a field. Look at that current. I threw that drone up, but you're gonna see going back towards one of our fields. We're down here on Ryder Road. We're gonna check out some fields and some different things today. Our field you're seeing way in the back corner, you'll see a bridge. That's our bridge. The whole field, that's 50 acres, completely underwater. Every foot, every inch is underwater. And the fields to the south of it. Now these muck farmers, they're gonna be farming that soon. But look at the way this current is just rolling. That's deep. That's deep. We're backed up down here. All these drains now, they're headed to Canada is where everything's headed. We're only about 40 minutes from there, but unbelievable amount of water, over 3 inches, probably 3.5, and just fast. So once that water got rolling, total devastation. I'm gonna show you next a road that got completely taken out. I even heard of a railroad getting undermined over there near Grand Rapids. Got the road shut down. Looks like it's coming across from the west side, and she's washed the road out. Must have been some blockage in here. Oh yeah. Yep. Someone built something back there. Maybe redirected the water a little bit. And she come down, she come through. The issue is, doesn't look like there's any water coming out of this culvert. It's all coming out of here. Double culvert here was backed up. They're gonna have to dig all this up. Looks like Super Trucker's in the house getting himself his own little video. Yeah, this thing must be plugged right here. He's all plugged up, flowing in there. But maybe it had something to do with that big build over there redirecting the water, I would assume. Got some nice gates there. A beautiful countryside down here near Elmont, Huff Road, Shoemaker. She's still draining. I don't know when they're gonna get to fixing this, but I panned out with that drone and it showed some nice fields. Looks like there's not as much water sitting. We're gonna go north to where we farm and check out them fields. Buckle up. I think she's a little wetter up there. Let's go. Big drain up here. We're about a few miles north of the main farm there. I've got 100 acres over yonder that dumps into this county drain. Yeah, this looks like the old part of the old bridge before they rebuilt it. They just left it there. Anyway, she's full. The drain is full, headed that way to Canada. Got some type of a girdle going on right there. Supposed to be getting a little more rain. This is gonna push planting back and any tillage work for the foreseeable future. My buddies that farm the muck out in through here, that's that black dirt. They were gonna start this week. Well, as you can see, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. Probably gotten about 3 inches of rain, and I was at my daughter's softball this morning. Well, let me give you a heads up. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, guys. It helps the channel out. I don't ask you to do that enough. It's one thing you can do to help out. But anyhow, I was over in Mount Morris, 45 minutes. That's north of Flint. We got all this rain. There was some muck. There's a muck vein over there, DeBuck sod. I went by. That was all underwater. This is what that black dirt looks like. Some of the richest soil there is, and there's some sand under it, you can see. Well, this was chisel plowed, you can see. They're not going to be touching it anytime soon. I rode up on the Gator. I've seen some other spots that were starting to wash out. So far, the fields haven't been taking on too much water. There was one year all these fields were flooded. Depending on how much we get, there's a break right now, but another hour or two, we're supposed to get another shot. So at 1 year, the banks were blown and all these fields were flooded. There's drainage issues over there in St. Clair County. This is about the line right here, Lapeer County, St. Clair County. So guys, I take that back. Once I threw the drone up, you can see some aerial shots. All them fields down there are completely covered and flooded with water. Now, a lot of these muck fields are tiled. See, there's a big sump there. I think they do is they tie into this and then they'll pump it off. This one's not doing too bad. There's some water in the belly there, but they'll pump it over to this county drain. But you're not going to get any, at this point the water's backfilling the fields because it's so full. Now you still got about 5 feet here left before it blows the bank, but the bank down there must be a lot thinner, or it must be a lot more shallow, or I see a tile riser, it's just coming up and it's filling the field up. That's what's happening. I'm gonna head down closer to home and show you a couple other spots to check. If you guys farm, you know we live and die by the weather and the fuel price and the fertilizer and the seed cost. So this is just another added challenge to it. It's going to be a very challenging year, I can tell you that. One thing I'll say, over these last couple weeks, it has been a little warmer. The wheat, this is our neighbor's wheat, but the wheat really greened up, bright green grass. Now, you know, as long as she can sustain the flooding, the tile line right there underwater, be all right. Gonna be some cool mornings here. That's your internet. That's an internet box. They buried a bunch of boxes so people can get fast internet. I went with Starlink. I didn't go with wire. Farmers will rip the wire out of the ground and kill your internet. Moving on. Now the farmers won't rip it out intentionally, but when they get a little close and they set that chisel plow down or field cultivator, it might get snagged. Depends on how deep it is. Okay, next destination, we're directly east of the farm, 1 mile. It's my buddy's fields. All the water comes through here. This drain here, and it's coming this way. It's coming from the north and the south. It's going in a drain here. Look at it swirling in there. Must be partly blocked. Swirling in, going under. Now, I don't think they've dug this drain. This is our cornfield here, not tiled. Looks pretty good for not being tiled. We need to get a little ditch going to here. And the culvert must be, well, I don't know how well that culvert's working, but she's popping out right here. And then it's flooding that woods back in there. My grandpa's old place right there. You can see it's just full of water. I don't think the county's dug this in a while, but the bank's high enough she's not flooding her field just yet. Moving on. I tell you what, they got this field, or this road crowned perfectly, not a water puddle on it. All right, guys, this is the field that we're gonna tile. This is at 80 acres. There's your main. That looks like 6-inch main. Well, some of the tile guy, he brought some of his equipment. The tile plow's not here, but he's got his tractors to pull the spool tile as the tile plow's going in, his dozer. But you can see why we need to get it tiled. It's got a little ditch bank crown here, and the water sits. That's all muck ground. You know, if she was tiled, it would be flooded anyway. I mean, look at this ditch, is just full, packed full. 4320. This guy's got a 4320. New filter. Looks like he changed the oil. He's got a mini excavator here, a little clam, and a trenching bucket. That's to piece the tiles together to connect them. Well, the good news is the water is moving. That's a lot of water. Whoa, someone's shooting off a cannon. Hey, rural Michigan. You don't know what's going to go on up here. Yeah, look at that. That tube is just about plumb full. Being that this was a hay field, it's going to dry obviously a lot quicker than a tilled field. So hopefully he'll be able to start laying some tile in here. That water keeps draining, heads over to Canada, gets out of our hair, and then we can get some of that tile in the ground for drainage. Now you see why we got a drain up here in Michigan. There's that ditch my brother cleaned out in that last couple videos back. Yeah, this side of the 80, this 40 looks a lot drier, higher than this over here, but nonetheless, we're gonna tile both sides. We're just gonna tile one side, try to get cheap on them. But then one would be really good, then we'd be fighting with the other one. So we decided to just bite the bullet and tile the 80 acres. 80 acres of tile, I'll probably tell you this in another video when we do a tiling video, but it's a little over $1,000 an acre, so not gonna be cheap. Remember I was telling you, a lot of water comes across from this road. Swampy ground over here. We're on the other side of this field they're gonna tile, but got this opened up here, and she wants to flow, so he's gonna have to put a main in right here. A piece of wood right there, but someone cut. Must have flew all the way from out there. Underneath, maybe. Yeah, she's flowing. Here's a better angle of that ditch that Greg dug. I'll show you a shot of that excavator if you guys missed that video. And then we called Miss Dig, got it flagged, and he dug this. There was no ditch here, and that's part of the problem. You got to get ditches around your fields if you can. And it all heads to that main drain. That's like a half a mile coming across the road too. Yeah, I think the guy that owned this tried to stop Greg, and he wanted him to dig this ditch out too. And you could charge him and do it, but the thing is, we don't really have time to be doing that. We're just digging what we got. We got to get the excavator back to the main farm. There's another plugged up culvert there that's pooling a bunch of water and trapping some tile from getting out. So, but you can't do much in this weather right now. Round 2's coming on right now. Bell River, I think we got more rain up here. That was about 8 miles south. We got to get these cattle fed. Tell you what, on a rainy day like this, I'm glad I'm not using silos and I'm not using conveyors. Because them conveyors and belt feeders and all that moisture would wreak havoc. Guys, back home. Hey, Big Grant playing with a little tractor. Remember, I was hooked up to that dump trailer here, and the last video was at that gravel pit. I ended up getting a couple loads of this 6A stone. Once I put this driveway in, I had kind of a hole here in the center. It was grass, but it was low and it was flooded out. So the kids and I put a bunch of fabric down, and I dumped the stone and put it in there with the skid steer. So I'm gonna leave this hooked up for a while in case I need it for something. But if the ditches are working properly, then hopefully everything will dry out and drain out pretty quick. But you know, we don't normally start planting up here in Michigan until May 1st. The muck guys, they're a month earlier, so it'll be right now. So hopefully it dries out and they can get rolling. Mother Nature struck, but she's taking it. Hey buddy, you having fun? Want to wish you guys a happy Easter, and we'll see you in the next video. More to come. God bless.